A high-frequency 6 kilowatt hybrid inverter typically only weighs about 53 pounds. On the other hand, a low-frequency 6 kilowatt hybrid inverter weighs a massive 100 pounds. And when it comes to performance, reliability, and safety, weight matters. Remember those cheap, lightweight, high-frequency inverters that the Chinese brought into the US by the container load back in the 90s? The ones that might last you a year or two, if you were lucky? Unfortunately, they're back. Only this time, these Chinese manufacturers are stuffing these lightweight, short-lived, low-surge inverters into larger, more modern-looking metal and plastic boxes with little to no improvements to this outdated high-frequency technology, with claims that they can safely power your entire home. If you've already thrown your money away on one of these poorly engineered, overpriced products, then we highly recommend that you do not watch this video, because you're not going to be happy with what you learn about the technology that's used in these inferior devices. In a high-frequency inverter, tiny, easily damaged MOSFETs directly power all of your loads. In a low-frequency inverter, on the other hand, all of your loads are powered by a massive, heavy-duty, iron core, copper-wound output transformer. This massive iron core transformer makes a huge difference when it comes to an inverter's life expectancy, surge capacity, and most importantly, its safety. Another major issue with many of these high-frequency solar generators and inverters is their overload protection. Rather than shutting down the inverter's output during an overload, most of these inverters will lower their output voltage to as low as 80 volts AC and then slowly ramp the voltage back up, which effectively creates a brownout. The problem with a voltage brownout is that in order to maintain the load's power draw, the load will cause an increase in the amount of current that is drawn, which can damage the windings of electric motors and the insulation of wiring in your appliances, which can eventually lead to short-circuit-induced fires in your electronics and appliances. High-frequency, transformerless inverters are not designed to repeatedly power high-surge loads such as refrigerators, microwaves, power tools, air conditioning, or EVs. You might be able to power some of these inductive loads when your high-frequency inverter is new, but every time you do, you're shortening the life of the already overstressed MOSFETs and capacitors in your inverter. In order to save on weight and cost, yet another problem with the lack of a heavy-duty iron core copper-wound output transformer is that these manufacturers substitute the transformer with a pile of cheap, Chinese-made, off-spec, resistors, diodes, capacitors, and inductors that not only make these inverters far more difficult and expensive to repair, but also makes for a far more complex circuit that's prone to early failure. Because there is no output transformer, if the output monitoring circuit were to fail, it would only take a single overheated MOSFET to short to ground, and high voltage, high current DC could pass through to your AC loads and set them on fire. In light of this, whatever you do, never attempt to charge an EV or power a computer with data that you care about losing with a high-frequency, transformerless inverter. Here's a photo that was posted on DIYSolarForum.com of a cabin that was allegedly burned to the ground by a high-frequency solar generator. With over 25 years of experience in the inverter repair industry, we know full well which inverter technology works and which inverter technology doesn't. So it is our recommendation that if you're planning on powering inductive loads in your home, such as microwave ovens, refrigerators, power tools, or AC units, that you purchase a UL-listed, hybrid, low-frequency, pure sine wave transformer-based inverter charger. We're the Inverter Doctor. Since 1999, we've provided inverter repair, modification, and design services to thousands of off-grid customers nationwide. Based on that experience, we highly recommend that you avoid the recommendations that originate from the dozens of inexperienced, newbie YouTube affiliate advertisers who will say anything to get you to click on their high-frequency inverter discount code link, and do your own research using the many credible resources that are readily available on the internet.